So, nearly party time. I've got my togs on, I look the business. I've got my mates coming in about 10, 20 minutes. Got my bits and pieces done, my mulled cider. I've got my chicken liver parfait. I've got my soup ready to go. But what I want to focus you on now is combos. Really good things that spank your taste buds. For instance, we've got Parma ham or prosciutto with a piece of fig, a bit of mint and some mozzarella. So with the figs here, cut these into quarters. We've got the Parma ham, which frankly I'm just going to take straight out of the pack and put here like that. You know, a little bit of mozzarella, some mint, just bang it there. That is basically a canapé waiting to happen. I can just pinch a little bit of the mozzarella. I'll take a piece of mint. I'm basically going to stab that, as you can see. A little bit of fig, stab that. Take a little bit of the old prosciutto, and then just basically wrap it around, just like that. And there you have a modern, exciting, beautiful mouthful. Olive oil. Delicious. Really, really good. Let's talk about this one. We've got smoked salmon, cress, pickled beetroot, horseradish. And all I'm saying to do is you could take a little slice like this. Inside it, you put your little bit of horseradish, a little bit of beet. Go heavy on the horseradish as well. A little bit of the old cress. Pinch it together. You know, you can put that on a spoon. Everything's nice with a tiny little bit of olive oil, right? Squeeze a lemon juice. That is a brilliant little mouthful. Every time. Bresaola. Bresaola is an Italian cured beef. You got some coleslaw, you can make it or buy it, like that. A couple of cornichon, and then you can literally just pinch it up like that, and you stab it. Just like that. Believe in the power, in the combos. Party time. You're gonna love this one. It's stuffed dates with walnuts, thyme, manchego, and sandwiched between beautiful chorizo so it goes crispy and smoky. So, get yourself some dates. My granddad always used to get dates, keeps him regular. Open them out like this. Get yourself a little walnut and just break it in half. Just squeeze the walnut into it and get a nugget of manchego or cheddar or any nice melting cheese. And stuff that into that date, and you can almost squeeze it back to the shape it came in. Get a nice little pinch of thyme. Thyme, cheese and dates works really, really well. Once you've done that, get a skewer, and we're gonna first put on some chorizo, then go through your date, and then through the chorizo again. And it literally takes seconds to do. I'm gonna do one more, date, cheese, thyme, go through the chorizo, through the date, and back with the chorizo. Do yourself a whole load of those up. You can keep them the day before or even the day before that. When you want them, get your oven onto 250 degrees. Get yourself like an earthenware type dish. Plop a whole load of these in one layer with a few knobs of butter and some sherry vinegar or red wine vinegar, and roast them up for about 10 minutes until crispy and gorgeous. And guess what? Here's one I made earlier. Sizzling and gorgeous, oozy cheese, sweet dates. The chorizo goes crispy and smoky, the dates goes just gorgeous and gooey, the cheese is oozy. A brilliant combo, your mates will go mad for it. Give it a go.
This easy 5-ingredient showstopper, an indulgent tear and share bread with oozy camembert for dunking. You'll have them fighting over it.
I'm supposed to be doing this recipe on my own, but he wants to play with Daddy. So that is Christmas, right? Always juggling, always hands full. Say hello.
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 All you need is camembert, fresh rosemary, strong bread flour, garlic, and dried yeast.
So this is Baby River, and he's the youngest one of the Oliver clan. So we're gonna make a Christmas tree shaped tear and share bread that you can dip in camembert, and people are gonna go mad for it. It's so simple, you can even do it with one hand. So I'm gonna do it all in here, less washing up. I'm gonna put 800 grams of strong flour. Of course, you can do it by hand in a bowl. I have a sachet of yeast. They're always 7 grams. A nice pinch of salt. Then I'm gonna add about 500 milliliters of warm water. Put the lid on and just pulse it. And it will bring the dough together, almost like you're kneading it by hand. Woo! 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 We now have a basic white dough. Can you see it's humid here? That's the perfect environment with the heat of the engine for it to prove. So let that double in size, so about 40 minutes, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. So the idea was I'd wear him out and I'd be back on my own, but I've actually gained an extra child. This is Petal. Get some greaseproof paper, dust with some flour, and then what I can do is start to stencil a Christmas tree.
Forming a template to put our little dough balls in.
In here, in the mixer, it's doubled in size. So just a little flour here. You ready for this?
Ready, this.
And I want about 30 edible baubles. Petal's gonna help me. Just put your hand around like that, and then you get a nice, tight little ball, and I want to place this ball onto my Christmas tree here. But you'll get the idea. So, River, what's this?
Glallywall.
A glallywell. So we're going to take the glallywell, cheese, and what I'm going to do is take the frame and I'm going to place it here as our guide. So, Petal, do 2 at once, and I need you, and go like that, really fast.
I can't.
Go on, you can do it. Look, we're all going fast. Look, really fast, really fast. Stay there. Happy Christmas, everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. Petal's done a fine job of placing this within the shape of the stencil. Thank you, Petal. Amazing. The fire engine has gone across the kitchen. The cheese is now on the floor. We're now going to let this double for 1 hour, so you get a spongy bread, and then we'll cook it. Merry Christmas. So the bread's proved for about an hour, and I've managed to save the cheese.
I'm using camembert, which is perfect for this dish as it comes in its very own box.
Now, on the cheese front, there's a little preparation that I want to do to make it the most incredible cheesy lava. Think fondue. Put the tip of your knife just into it like that. What we'll do is just quickly remove that little skin. Get yourself 2 or 3 fat cloves of garlic and make it nice and fine. And what we're going to do is just dress this garlic in a little oil. We know that garlic and bread works. Best friends, best friends. But with the oozy, gorgeous cheese, this is going to be nuts. I'm happy. And then we've got a little bit of rosemary, a nice bit of olive oil. Brilliant, brilliant flavours. Let's have a look at our Christmas tree. Ha-ha. So the yeast has kicked into action and it's doubled the little buns in size. Then I can take one of these camembert and put it back in the box from whence it came. Of course, when we completely destroy that camembert and it's gone, but we still got buns, we can put another one back in its box and we can replace it.
For our final flourish, dot sprigs of rosemary all over your tree.
So look at that, come on, Merry Christmas. I am childishly proud of that. It goes in the oven for half an hour at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. Put it in the oven, and then also, don't forget your second one. We can pop that at the bottom, leave it for half an hour, and people are gonna love it. Oh, you little beauty. Ho, 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 ho. It is blipping away, and it is gorgeous. Wowzers.
And the joy of this recipe is there's no dishing up. Let it cool and serve.
Just go and steal a little Christmas decoration. Pop it in there like that. So look, enough talking. Let's just grab one, hot and steamy, and let's just dive. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Ooh. What could be more indulgent than bread dipped in melted cheese?
A big show-off party bread that's as easy as it is impressive. The perfect treat for when you're having a cheeky Christmas drink with family and friends.
There we go.
Baby River.
Now for a classic cocktail, elevated to a Christmas corker. This cocktail is for me. It's a bit more flamboyant. It's a frozen berry Christmas margarita. Come on. And it's gonna give me a little pick-me-up to take me through the day. So in a liquidizer, I am gonna put 50 mils of lime juice. And then I'm gonna top up this with 100 mils of my delicious tequila. And then 50 mils of triple sec, or you could use Cointreau. And that is that beautiful sweet orange flavor, delicious. And then take some frozen berries, just one little handful. These are a classic quick and easy time saver. Keep them in your freezer for when you need a hit of festive flavor.
Then a little handful of ice goes in, and I'm gonna take a little mint, just take off 2 or 3 leaves, and then we're gonna whiz it up, and it's gonna be delicious. So in 30 seconds, we've created a beautiful, beautiful Christmas berry margarita. Come on, look at that. The color is amazing. Top it with a little bit of mint. But that is a nice little festive drink. Let's have a try. Hallelujah. It feels really Christmassy. The berries make it so. That is fresh. Psh, psh, psh. It's waking up the taste buds. It's getting me going. Easy. Merry Christmas. One for me, maybe one for Santa. Do you know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Gizzy Erskine and I'm going to be showing you how to make that classic pigs in blankets, but I'm going to do a really cool way of serving them. And then I'm going to be making a really easy 5-minute cranberry sauce too. So to begin with, I'm going to draw around a plate. This is just to give you a gauge, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap our sausages. Now I've gone for chipolatas. You don't want to go for a classic sausage, it's too much. We've got 18 sausages and 18 rashers of smoked streaky. I want to see a bit of sausage at each end. Do you see that? I just think it looks a little bit neater, all right? So we're just gonna do this quickly. Okay. Now, I'm just gonna put these sausages, these wrapped sausages around. Already this is looking beautiful, okay? But we do need to secure it. If we don't, it could fall all over the place. So toothpicks. Pierce 3, then go to the next sausage and work around, and then pierce another 3. Now to make it look beautiful, look more like a wreath. So we've got all of these woody herbs, some rosemary, we've got some bay, and we've got some thyme. I'm gonna start off with the bay. So every sort of second sausage, or pig in blanket, I'm putting a leaf of bay. The smell of this cooking on Christmas Day is a total game changer. Do you know what, I say you can just mainly have this for Christmas Day for the turkey, but actually, for a canapé party, if you're gonna do this, this would actually be really cool as well. And then I'm gonna put some thyme in there. I'm actually gonna make it go round, it sort of breaks it. Actually brings out all the oils in it as well. And I'm just gonna make a little round, almost like a bird's nest in the center. Now, we need to get some olive oil and make sure you really pay attention to the herbs because otherwise they'll just go really black and dark. Okay guys, that is it. So I'm gonna put this in the oven, 200 degrees for about 35 minutes until it's really lovely and golden brown. Okay, next up, it's time to get on with the cranberry sauce. We've got some fresh cranberries here, but you can use frozen, 500 grams. We're gonna put some sugar with them because they are very acidic as well. 70 grams of golden caster sugar. And then it's Christmas, so raid the alcohol cupboard, get some ruby red port, about 50 mils of that. And then I'm gonna go for the juice and the zest of some clementines. Just juice them quickly. And then we're just gonna use the peel as well, and you can just take it from the same thing. That's more than enough. It's on a fairly high heat, and we're just gonna cook this down for about 5 minutes until they just start to pop. Okay, so it's not even been 5 minutes and like the magic's happened. It's gone from being that really sort of piquant, hard fruit to having all of the cranberries burst. Now, Classically, you see cranberry sauce cold, but you can have it both ways. I actually quite like it when it's warm, so I'm gonna serve this up straight away. And then it's about time for those sausages to be ready, so I'm gonna grab them. Okay, so slide them off onto your plate. It does work, I promise. And as if it's meant to be, there's a perfect hole for our cranberry sauce to be. Right, there's only one thing left to do, and that's go in for a taste. And thankfully, as I said, it's kind of like finger food, so no need for a knife and a fork. Typical me. It's so good. It's almost good enough to suggest you don't actually need the turkey, dare I say it? But no, of course you do. It's so good. It's done everything that you want. That sausage is cooked through beautifully. Bacon's really nice and crunchy. The cranberry sauce is that perfect mix of acidity. You know, got the hints of the clementine. You've got loads.
I'm going to show you a recipe that I hope will be delicious and perfect for this festive time of year when you're having gatherings, cocktail parties, and friends and family around. So my team have asked me, can I take my new cookbook, 5 Ingredients Mediterranean, and can it canapé? Can I take a dish and turn it into a little handheld mouthful of deliciousness? So the first recipe that I'm going to do is potato bombas, which was a recipe inspired by a trip to Spain. It's basically a potato cake with manchego that's oozing through it. It's held together with a little egg. It's got a crunchy outside from the breadcrumbs, and we're serving that on a nice little spiced tomato sauce. So let's see if this, which is normally bigger, can canapé. So, first job, I've got 3 jacket potatoes, 1 kilo. Take yourself a little fork, give it a little prick, just a couple of times. These can go into the oven for an hour, or you can put it in a microwave for around about 30 minutes. So once the potatoes are nice and cooked and soft, what we're gonna do is just tear them open, and I'm just gonna use a little fork to mash the potato out of the skin. Also, you don't have to throw away that skin. If you just let those cool down and pop these in the fridge, you can roast those up. You can toss those with a little olive oil, salt and pepper, even spice it up. Delicious. And a lot of the vitamin C is in the skin, so don't waste these little beauties. So a nice little seasoning of sea salt goes in. We want to be generous with black pepper, and we're going to use a little egg yolk to bind it and enrichen it, okay? So tap your eggs here and put the whites into a little dish. We're not going to waste the whites. We'll save up different batches of egg whites until you've got enough for a nice little pavlova or meringue, and then that goes in there like that. So I've got the yolks in here, whites that I'll put into a bag over here, and then we've got the cheese. Now, as this inspiration came from Spain, a great cheese that most of us can get hold of is manchego, a really, really fantastic cheese. 150 grams is what you need, so I'll just remove the little skin from the outside, put that to one side. Now, actually, what I'm going to do is instead of grate the cheese, which you can do, I'm going to slice it and dice it. So I'm just going to run the knife through it quite roughly, like that. Put that in to your potatoes here. The egg yolk will enrichen the potatoes, give it a nicer colour, and also help to bind it so it holds together beautifully. This, of course, becomes the base for what is in the book, a nice little fritter, almost like a kind of fish cake size. But we're gonna canapé it, so we're gonna go smaller when we do it now. So just put it up the edge of the bowl like this. That will help it cool down really quickly. Let's just talk about breadcrumbs. So get yourself some nice breadcrumbs, you know, a couple of good handfuls in there, get it into a bowl. And then I've got a nice arrabbiata sauce here. So let's put that in a pan and bring that up to a simmer. So how big do we want our little canapés to be? About that kind of size, big enough to go in your mouth? That's about right, okay? So roll it into a little ball and then just take it off your hands into these breadcrumbs. So you can put that around like that, give it a nice little hug, and that will be fantastic. Let's get a few of those done. So I'm quite excited about this challenge, Can It Canapé? It's making me think about a lot of the dishes that I had in this beautiful book, and can you make it miniature? You can see how easy that was. It was actually really good fun. Get some kids to help you if you've got little ones running around. When you're heating oil, you want to use a thermometer. 170 degrees is what I'm looking for. If you haven't got a thermometer, what you can do is just put like a little bit of potato skin in the oil. And as soon as that starts to fry and float, you know that you're in a good kind of 160, 170 degrees. So look, I'm happy with that temperature. So I'm going to remove, actually let's not remove that bit of skin because it's probably going to be quite delicious. So let's go in with our very first bombas. Carefully plop it into the oil. You want to let these just fry until they're nice and golden on all sides. They take about 5 minutes normally, depending on the exact temperature of your oil, but you want them to be golden and delicious all around.
If you're enjoying this, then please click the like button and give us some love, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe.
So these have had about 5 minutes. And they're getting nice and golden, just gently turning them over with a slotted spoon. You can see some of that manchego starting to escape out, which is quite delicious. So the oozability factor is going to be very high in this recipe. I'm going to take a nice little bowl, something that you can take around your guests. Would you like some? Yes, please. We're going to put some of our lovely spiced sauce in there. Of course, you can make it as hot as you want it, but this is a nice medium heat. Let's put half of that sauce in there. So let's just lay out a little clean tea towel like that, and we'll drain these bombas nice and carefully like that. See, look at that sizzle, and just grate a little bit over the top here. Look at that. Fantastic. Can it canapé? Well, I think the answer is yes. Time to try one. It's going to be hot, so I would recommend letting this cool down a little bit. Let your friends have a nice drink of something cold and delicious. And then we're going to swoop around with this. Imagine coming to a party and that gets offered up. You're going to be pretty happy, aren't you? Very, very nice. It looks absolutely incredible. So from those little patties, which was like a kind of tapas, to this incredible little canapé. Let's have a little taste and see what they're like. And rip it open. Whoa. Should we have a little dip into the tomato sauce? Let's go. The steam coming off it tells you that it's very hot. The same temperature as the center of the earth. I better try it for you. Mmm. Oh yeah. Spicy, sweet, crunchy. You got that ooze of the manchego. Love manchego. I'm gonna tackle one of the most iconic cocktails on the planet, the vodka martini. We're gonna hit up the vodka martini, classico, okay? Which is very, very simple and beautiful. Then we got the dry martini, then we got a wet martini, then we got a dirty vodka martinis. And I'm gonna show you that little differences make a dramatic change to what you're tasting in your mouth. Let's start with classic first. We're gonna go 50 mils of beautiful vodka, straight in. Then we got 10 mils of dry vermouth, goes in. And then we wanna add our ice. We're not doing what James Bond did, we're not shaking. We're using our little spoon here. The minute that you can start to feel the chill on the glass, that is not only the perfect temperature, but it's the perfect dilution. So that's very nice. I've chilled a glass with some ice in like that. And then for garnish, just remove some peel, put it at a slight kink like that, and just squeeze around the glass so some of those lovely essential oils come out. You can even twist it up like that. So there you go. That is the classic vodka martini. It's a beautiful, very refreshing drink. So that's probably the most common one. Let's do the next variation. So this is a dry vodka martini. It's very, very similar. I'm just going to take a little bit of that vermouth and put a slug in the glass. And essentially I'm going to clean the glass with the vermouth, okay? And just pour away any of the excess. This way we get the lovely aroma of the vermouth. We're gonna go in with the same amount of vodka, 50 mils, goes straight in. In it goes. I'm then gonna put in the ice. Notice there's no vermouth in here because the vermouth we just want to dash, okay? So it's dry. I'm just gonna pass it, as per usual, into the glass. We can finish with some lemon. Here is the dry martini, much crisper, still very refreshing. You're still getting the smell of the vermouth, which is lovely. It's quite sensual with the lemon as well. Very, very nice. Different. I still prefer the classic, but many people love that. It's a bit crisper. Now we're gonna do the wet vodka martini. It's called a wet vodka martini, but we're using dry vermouth. And there is some logic there. Yes, it's dry vermouth, but there's still a sweetness in this that we can use within the drink. So we're still gonna go in with our classic 50 mils of vodka. We're then gonna hit it up with 25 mils of vermouth. More ice, and do exactly what we've done for the other 3 drinks. I'm gonna use my chilled glass here. The volume's gonna be a little bit more increased because we're 15 mils up. So there's the wet martini. Let's have a little try. Delicious. Really, really good. I kind of like the balance between the vermouth and the vodka. I think they work really, really well together. There you go. The classic, the dry, and the wet vodka martini. Last, we're gonna do the dirty vodka martini. Now I like a bit of dirty vodka martini. And you could get really dirty. First up, we are gonna muddle a couple of olives. Simply just crush the olives like that. Just give it 4 or 5 little pushes. 50 mils of vodka. Of course, you can have your dirty vodka martini, wet, dry, or classic, but good bartenders, they'll tell you that it's better to balance if it's a little bit more on the wet side. So I'm gonna put in 25 mils. Still feeling for that chill through the glass. Good temperature, lovely chilled glass. How could you not put an olive back in? In we go. A dirty, dirty vodka martini. I love it. That is my speed right there. I really love it. Delicious. Definitely my favorite. So there you go, guys. 4 drinks, all coming from the classic vodka martini. There's so many different things you can do, but these 4 hopefully will give you the confidence to go into a bar and get what you want. Go and buy the ingredients at home, have a go, and I definitely recommend the dirty vodka martini. I have the pleasure and honour of showing you my version of the very most perfect gin and tonic. It's a passion of mine. It's beautiful in summer. It's refreshing. So every Saturday I make myself a gin and tonic about 7 o'clock. The kids have gone to bed. It's my little relief drink. It's gorgeous. First up, I 3/4 fill a glass like this. Now, learnt from a pro friend of mine, but I totally dig it. If you just whizzle up the ice like this, you can already see that chilling the glass out. That's a good thing. I'm just gonna leave it in there for a second. Let's talk about citrus. I always roll my lime first. It does make a difference and it breaks all those little capsules of lime. If I've got a more delicate fragrant gin, I'll use lime. And if I've got a more funky, a stronger flavored gin, I'll go lemon. But if you go to Japan, they have yuzu lime, which is badass. That in gin and tonic is outrageous. And then I'm simply gonna cut my lime in half. I want a nice perfect wedge and then one for squeezing. So, back to here. I'm just going to get rid of the excess water. Then you've got perfect ice and a really cold glass. Squeeze your lime that way round so the juice goes through and past the oil, which you've stimulated through the rubbing. And then we're gonna go in with the gin. 50 mils goes in, and then we've got the tonic water. Now, having grown up in the pub serving this, we would just dunk it in, right? But if you're getting a little bit geeky, what you can do is either lean your glass to one side and just pour the tonic in, and the idea is that the tonic will come in and then just kind of rotate around the glass. And the reason for that is you don't want to lose all the bubbles straight away, and you want to kind of keep the effervescence. So there's that way, which is good. Or, check this out. Put your spoon thing up the end of your tonic and just pour. And it will spin through that. Try and put the base of the spoon in there. You want just about twice as much tonic water as your spirit. And then all I'm going to do is one little turn. Then garnish with one little wedge of lime. Plop that in, and that for me is perfection. Cold glass, like the gin at its best. Really, really nice. Now, I said there's different citrus that you can use. Also, if you just get a little bit of mint and just twist it in half and just squeeze it, or spank it. I like a bit of spanking, it's quite nice. Throw that in, and just that subtlety of that will make a difference. It's delicious because you get the smell before you've even put it in your mouth, and then it's subtly there in the background. And I think there's something very subtle about just a little mint and the botanicals in the gin. Delicious, fresh, 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 fresh. Okay, so the classic daiquiri. Plus, I'm going to give you a couple of options on flavouring it as well. Another brilliant Cuban cocktail, all celebrating sweet and sour. It's brilliant. Ingredients-wise, ice, sugar, and lime, and of course, white rum. I'm going to use 1 level dessert spoon of sugar. Then half a beautiful lime. Now, normally you see me squeezing like this because I am a lovely lemon lime squeezer. The nice sort of bar way to do it is just put it on the edge of your shaker like this and then kind of use your grip just to squeeze it. What's great about this is you don't kind of have juice spurting everywhere. You know what I mean? It's happened to everyone. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Now look in there. The sugar is still very granular. So just stir it for 10 seconds and that's your sort of lovely, simple syrup really. Now, we're in Cuba, it's hot. So part of the emotion of drinking it and enjoying it is we need chill. Calm down. So just put a few ice cubes in your glass just to chill the glass down. Back to the booze. I want about 70 millilitres of rum, okay? Now, very important, fill that up to 3/4, okay? Pour it over, and then we're ready to shake. Now, go in at a slight angle, give it a little thump down, okay? And then we're gonna do our little shaking action. I'm not an absolute expert because I'm not a barman, I'm a chef, so I'm very good at drinking cocktails, less good at shaking. So we're just gonna shake it for about 10 seconds. Down. You don't want little flakes of ice around, so using a tea strainer is pretty good. We can use our pre-chilled glass and we'll go straight in. Really classic. Now guys, let me show you a variation on this theme because this is beautiful. I'm going to do a raspberry daiquiri. Let me make another quick batch. The amount you want is about 3 to 5 raspberries. That's all you need. And again, we're only going to shake it for 10 seconds. Okay, so we don't want it to be like a smoothie or anything like that. So in with this, top goes on, shaky, shaky. A beautiful little twist on the classic. A raspberry daiquiri. You get that wonderful kind of pinkness. So there you go, guys. 2 brilliant cocktails, the classic and the little derivative here. The margarita, a beautiful cocktail, but I think often misunderstood. There's been a bit of an education job gone wrong with tequila. Tequila is one of my favorite spirits. It's beautiful, it's fresh, it's clean. I think people just see it at the end of the night being a round of shots, bit of salt, bit of lemon, and just being like a throwaway thing to get you smashed out of your head. But no, right? This is incredible. But what I want to start with before we get into cocktail making is a rim job. So, I want 20 millilitres of lime here, so it's about 3/4 of a lime. I'm going to take this other piece and just come forward, my friend. I'm just going to go along the outside of the rim of the glass, and then I'm going to go in with 1, 2, 3 dips. Delicate, beautiful, happy days. So first up, 20 millilitres goes in. Right, then we're going to go in with 20 millilitres of lime. Just get your lime on the corner, give it a little squeeze. So 20 mils in there. So sweet and sour, we've got that balance happening straight away. Then we go in with 50 millilitres of tequila, baby. So 50 millilitres goes in. We want to go in with 3/4 of a cup of ice. Pour our mixture in. Bang it down, and then give it a shake. And look cool taking the lid off. Can anyone hear that tumbleweed? Back to the cocktail. So just pour that drink in. Refreshing, beautiful balance of sweet and sour. This is going to be a beautiful thing. So good. Really nice. So there you go, guys, an amazing drink from our brothers and sisters in Mexico. What a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm gonna show you how to make the best classic mojito, the most popular cocktail on the planet. Very refreshing, very beautiful, and very, very simple to make. So first up, lime. Give it a little roll just to loosen the oils in the skin. You can start to smell it, and also those little capsules of lime juice inside. Take the end off the lime like that. Take a nice, just over a centimetre thick, like this, and then cut it into 4. That goes in to our glass. I want about 7 or 8 nice leaves of mint. Try and go for the smaller ones. They're obviously younger, they're more delicate and more perfumed. Look at that, beautiful. What we can do, give it a nice little spank. Everything in life is better with a little spank. That goes into the glass. About 1 dessert spoon level of sugar. If it's a little sour, add a little bit more sugar. Now I haven't got a muddler, I'm just going to use the end of a whisk, but you could use a rolling pin or anything sort of that's flat like that. And what I want to do is 8 nice little squashes. I've been in some not so good bars where you see the bartenders going do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It makes the white bitter part of the lime extract, and it makes the bitterness also come out of the leaves. Okay, next up we want 50 mils of white rum. I'm just using a little digestive glass like this. Let's say 15 ice cubes is good. I'm just gonna get my little tea towel like this, grab in the little corners, smash it up. You can use a rolling pin if you want. You can get all your aggression out. Think of your bank manager or the estate agent. And the taxes you pay every year. But it's gonna be all right, because we're gonna have a beautiful mojito. Come and have a look. This kind of blend is nice. I like that, I like it a lot. So I'm only gonna fill that glass 3/4, okay? And then I'm just gonna top it up with a little soda water. Just a little splash like that, no more. And then we use our spoon and we just, almost like cooking when you're folding things through egg whites and cream, just fold it. And then top up with the ice. Garnish with a little mint. And also give it another spank. A very important Italian barman told me how to do that. Always spank your mint. So there you go, guys. I hope you like that beautiful cocktail. And don't forget, you can be creative with this. Of course you can. It's really nice with different types of mint. I've done it with a lemon thyme before, which was really interesting. You can also do it with basil. Beautiful little basil leaves. Purple basil, green basil. Okay, we're gonna do an absolute belter of a classic. Bloody Mary. This is so good. Brunch, lunch, tea time. A really good Bloody Mary is a thing of joy. So, I'm gonna give you a classic recipe with a few little tips on how to get that beautiful flavor, and then we're gonna take that classic and turn it into a sort of bespoke Bloody Mary. So, tall glass, half fill it with ice. We go plum tomatoes. Plums are always grade A. Just push it through a sieve, and then you get real tomato juice, next level. So, we're gonna go in with 50 mils of vodka, absolutely gorgeous. Fill that right up. Then we're gonna go in with 100 mils of beautiful tomato juice. Now, tomatoes from the plum make so much difference. So trust me on this one, brothers and sisters. We're gonna go in with 15 mils of lemon juice. Then we're gonna go in with a little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper, 5 little shakes, dashes of Worcestershire sauce, about a teaspoon, just under. Same with Tabasco, chili, flavor, really, really nice. Then we're gonna get in there and have a little mix up. So at this point in the game, we're gonna go to the garnishes, which is celery. What I do is you can click off these outer sticks here. This is celery gold right there. That's the flavor, that heart is the best bit of the whole thing. I would just get that nice end straight in there. Simple, top it up with a few more ice cubes. A little bit of black pepper's quite nice on the top there. And it's classic to add an aromatic herb, parsley or dill, chervil, could be tarragon. Give it a little spank and just pop it in there, and it just gets those smells going. So let's have a little try. A really, really nice drink, beautifully balanced. The seasoning is imperative. So let's just push this to the side. Now we can riff with that. So people have done it with fresh horseradish, jarred horseradish, mustard. These are all some variations that are very good with our friend, Mr. Bloody Mary. So it's all about smoking. And you can make a Bloody Mary that mixes things up. So let me show you what to do. Same glass. Let's fill this up with ice. Same measurements as the classic. 50 mils of our lovely vodka. Go straight in. 100 mils of quality tomato juice. Then the same amount of Worcestershire sauce, 5 little shakes. 15 mils of lemon juice. And then the fun starts. We're gonna go 1 teaspoon, I suggest heaped, of good barbecue sauce. Here we go, right there. Honestly, if it seems weird, you just have to put it in your mouth and taste it. It's unbelievable. And then we mix it up with some sea salt. Have a little taste. Very, very nice. I'm gonna go in with the celery stalk like so. I'm still gonna give it some little herbs because I quite like that. So we give it a smack. That's all good, but then we're gonna mix things up a little bit. We're gonna go in with some smoked bacon, right? It goes very, very good. And then you can take a crinkle cutter and a dill pickle. And I'm gonna do a nice little, look at that. My God, it's turning into a burger. Frankly, why stop there? Let's go in with an olive as well. I mean, look, I don't even know when to stop. But basically, with a little bit of celery salt, right, we put that on the top. Let's get a little straw. Let's have a little try. Delicious, really good. And you can kind of start picking and nibbling on things. It's lovely. We're gonna be making a Singapore sling. Yes, we are, an absolute classic drink, a cocktail from Raffles Hotel in Singapore from the turn of the century, and basically 1920s, 30s and 40s, this cocktail kind of changed everything. So for me, being an Essex boy, it's kind of a really posh punch in a long glass with attitude. I love it. There's a few ingredients, so let's get in the story right here. We've got some lime, we've got some pineapple juice, we've got grenadine, which is the lovely pomegranate syrup, we've got the triple sec, we've got a lovely herbal liqueur, gorgeous. We've got some cherry brandy, some gin, and some soda water. So there's a few ingredients here. So let's do the recipe. First up, about 20 mils of lime. Give it a little roll up to get those juices going. 20 mils we're after. Perfect. Okay, so we've got 20 mils from our 1 lime. That's the acidity, the freshness. Then let's start adding the sweet elements to balance that out. So 2 teaspoons, which is about 10 mils of grenadine. And that's that classic colour. Do you know what I mean? You're going to get that from the cherry brandy and from the grenadine. We're going to go in with 2 teaspoons of triple sec, which I love, very fresh. And then 2 teaspoons of our beautiful herbal liqueur. And these herbal liqueurs, you get all sorts of different ones around the world. They really are different in flavour. Then we're going to go in with the cherry brandy, 2 teaspoons again. And then on to the beautiful gin. So I want 35 mils of the gin, which is basically 1.5 of these bad boys. So it's the gin that makes this lovely cocktail a gin sling. Now, according to Noel Coward, you know, basically the Singapore sling was a gin sling, which was just topped up with a little of that herbal liqueur and the cherry brandy. Let's do the next bit, which is very exciting, with 50 mils of beautiful pineapple juice. And then loads of ice. There we go. Pour this on. And then we'll have a little shake up. Okay, so this is a beautiful long glass. This is the hurricane glass, which I love. Top it up with ice. Lovely, refreshing drink. Exciting. Something a bit different, fruity. You can double sieve it, and that just takes the little extra ice sort of flakes out. And then what we want to do is just top that up with just a little bit of soda water, just a little, like that. We can give it a little move around, and then garnish time. Guys, It's quite a pimpy garnish, so have fun with it. Do what you like. I'm just going to hit up some orange and some cherry. Let's just get that on the side. And I tell you what I like to do is I like to get one of these little leaves of the pineapple. Let's get that on there like that. So I'm just trying to be creative. I mean, it is quite a bonkers garnish in my opinion. So there you go, guys. That is the Singapore sling. Just a little disco straw. And yeah, I'm sure you could serve it up slightly more classical, but that's the way that I do it in Essex. Delicious, really refreshing. A nice little celebration of different liqueurs and spirits and fruit juices. That is definitely a cocktail for the summer and to put a smile on people's face. I'm gonna do another recipe for canapé. Can I take that beautiful, easy fig tart from my brand new cookbook, 5 Ingredients Mediterranean, and can we turn it into a canapé? I think that we can. First up, I've kept it in the pack because if you go to the supermarket, you can get luxury fruit and nuts. We've got little cranberries, we've got sour cherries, we've got raisins, we've got these beautiful sultanas, pecans, almonds, little pistachios, hazelnuts. It's a brilliant little combination. One ingredient punching really, really hard. So the simplest little recipe ever, just give it a little whiz. You'll see it's starting to clump together here, and you can literally just make a little test like this. Put it in your hand, and if it's pliable, see how it comes together like a little putty? And that'll create a beautiful little base for our fruit tart. Now, normally I put it into a little round mold and up the sides, but for this canapé, I'm gonna put it in this 35 by 12 centimeter mold. You could use any mold you like, but I'm kind of keeping it either rectangular or square because I want to slice it up into little 1.5 inch squares, okay? Because we're turning it into a canapé, right? So I've lined this with a little greaseproof paper. I'm gonna take this mix out. This really is the simplest little base. Just pour it out. Look at the colors. And I'm not gonna go up the side like in the recipe in the book. I'm just gonna push it out nice and flat so it's a base. Go around the edges, so it'll make it roughly even and flat. And then we're gonna do the next bit. Super, super easy again. I have 500 grams here of beautiful organic yogurt. What I'm gonna do is flavor it with 2 things. One is a nice generous teaspoon of vanilla paste. Love, love, love that. You can get this in the supermarkets. Of course, you can use vanilla extract or vanilla pods if you wish. And then we're gonna sweeten it with 1 or 2 teaspoons of honey, depending on how ripe your fruit is. If the fruit is really ripe, you'll need just 1. If it's a little bit more sour, and it can be at this time of year, heading towards winter, right, we'll use 2. So that goes in like that. Mix it up. You'll see the little dots that you get from the vanilla. So once you've done that, put your mold back out here and we'll put the filling straight in like that, and it'll find its natural level thanks to gravity.
If you're enjoying this, then please click the like button and give us some love, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe.
So what's cool about this recipe is we're going to use the freezer to create that kind of texture, that thickness. You can freeze that now for like 2-3 hours until firm, but you could do it the day before, the week before, so it's a great job to get done. I've already done one in the freezer, so I can show you exactly what to do. So this is the one that's already been frozen. If you put your hand around the side of the mold, it just helps to soften the outside of the frozen yogurt. And then what you can do is just pop it like that, and then it comes out. So there is the beginning of the canapé. So slice this into little chunks. Let's go 1/2 across like that. I'm going to slice across here all the way down. Canapé. Let's see. All cut, ready and raring to go. So you can literally pop that back in the freezer, and then 1/2 an hour before you want to serve them, then what we can do is take our little chunks of our amazing fruit tart and just distribute it around a lovely board. Absolutely love that. So let's take some different fruits, not specifically one, but the 5th ingredient would be a fruit. The original recipe was fig, but truth be told, my kids are really not that adventurous. I'm not gonna lie. They wouldn't eat the fig.
right? River would turn his nose up at that. He does like pomegranates. And when you half a blueberry, it is really beautiful. Here's a little cherry. We've got some nice little red currants, raspberries. I think this is a really fun little kind of sweet treat. So there you go. That is my expression, originally from my fig tart, from my new book. That's the original recipe, the lovely fig tart. I love it very, very much. But actually, it does work as a canapé. And I haven't even finished it yet. A little bit of the honey from a height like this. I think it looks great. It's fun. If you took that around a kid's party or an adult's party, that's delicious. That's 5 ingredients working really, really hard. Obviously, I've got different fruits in there, but you could pick one or just react to what's in season. But that's great. Right, let's have a little try. It's fresh, it's chewy, it's got that deliciousness that honey gives you with the acidity of the fruit and the tang of the yogurt. Hi everyone, so I am here today to give you another canapé. Yes, a lovely dish that we all know and love, canapé. First up, what is a canapé? It's a French word for a little something, a little kind of delicious bite, something that gets the lunch or the evening going, something to have with a drink. So it's a kind of cool thing, it's kind of party food, we like that. The dish that my team have given me is the Great British Roast. And this time, it's gonna be roast lamb. So, I do have some leftover roast lamb here, and I also have a little trick, a little ingredient that I buy every single week, that I use every single week, and it's really helpful for making delicious things like canapés. So, here I've got some leftover roast lamb. I've got some gravy here as well. I'm gonna take some of this out. This is about 500 grams of leftover roast lamb. You could use any meat. If you had any veggies, potatoes, carrots, peas, you could put that in the mix as well. So we're gonna go with the gravy and mint. Mint sauce with roast lamb is an absolute classic. I'm just gonna run my knife through the lamb just to break it up like that and put this into a bowl. So we'll go in with some salt and pepper, and then we're gonna go in with a little bit of the mint here, and let's just take off the leaves. The stalks here you can use for making lovely mint tea. Mint and roast lamb for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years are best friends. So mint goes in. I'm gonna use a little gravy just to dress it up and make it just a little moist. Mix that around. So here is the little trick. Filo pastry. It is a really delicate, fine pastry. And it comes in plastic because the minute you take it out, it will start to dry. So what we have to do as the cook is take a clean cloth and get it wet. You don't want the filo pastry to get dry because then it will be brittle and it will crack and it won't behave very well. So I have this in the fridge every single week. At the very least, buy a pack and put it in the freezer and it defrosts very quickly. So we're gonna take it like that and we're gonna cover it, and that way it won't go dry. So I'm just gonna take that to one side. I'm gonna just take this filo pastry like that. I'm gonna slice it in half on a clean surface, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of our lamb here and just stuff it. So just bring in the sides and just roll it up like that. Once you've rolled it up, take some of that oil and just brush your little canapé roast lamb cigar, and then we'll lay it onto a roasting tray like this. And we'll repeat this until this tray is racked out, and then you're gonna basically bake this in the oven. And in that time it takes to cook that, we're gonna knock up a beautiful little salsa verde and reheat a little bit of gravy, and the two things together should be incredible. So there you go. This is pure potential. You could put that in the fridge now if you wish, and when your guests come around, just bang them in the oven. They're gonna go in at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for around about 20 minutes until golden, crisp, and delicious. In it goes. If you're enjoying this, then please click the like button and give us some love, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. With this excess pastry, it's still good to go, right? So what I would normally do is just keep that wet cloth that is clean and just roll it up like this.
and I just pop it back in the fridge for a day or two. So we have these crispy, gorgeous things celebrating beautiful roast lamb. And what I want to do is have something to dip it in. So if you're doing a nice little canapé, cocktail party, a little bit of a nibble, it's quite nice to be able to pick it up and dip it in something and get that kind of explosion of flavour. So what we're going to do is a lovely kind of riff on a salsa verde, slightly simpler. So we're going to take mint. It could be any green herbs, but traditionally it'll be parsley or mint, depending on what's in season. So I'll take those off of the stalk like that. Then we're going to use some capers. So a little bit salty. These are in brine. Just give them a little squeeze. I've got some anchovy here. So just a couple of anchovy fillets. I will use a little bit of lemon zest. And as we all know, garlic and lamb are very good friends. So we don't need loads, half a clove of garlic. You can chop the garlic or you can actually just use that little grater. Can you see? Going in there like that. So now we can start chopping, and we'll chop the garlic, the capers, the anchovy first and get it fairly fine, and then start chopping the mint. So when it's nice and finely chopped, let's get it into a little bowl. Fragrant mint and capers, just delicious. I'll steal some of that oil from the anchovy, and then I'll just use some olive oil just to loosen the herbs. Then we'll kind of break that with a little vinegar, just about a thimble, a couple of teaspoons. And what I want to do is add some mustard, just to give it a little bit of a creaminess, and a little more oil, just to loosen it. So you can see it's got a nice little drizzle to it. So I'm going to put the salsa verde here, like that. So I'm going to reheat some gravy, because I can't help myself. Just going to rinse it out with a little water. So I'll bring that gravy back to the boil. Kind of just to remind you, this is roast lamb with gravy, been canapéed into these beautiful little crispy cigars. So we're going to take one of those, dip it in the gravy maybe, hit it up with a little salsa verde in the mouth, hopefully explosion, deliciousness, and happiness. Right, let's let those cook, and then I'll show you how to serve. So, can it canapé? Yes, it can. With the help of salsa verde, some lovely gravy. So let's load these up. Just stack them erratically. The smell is amazing. So there you go, lovely people. Roast lamb filo cigars, golden crispy, with a lovely salsa verde dip. Actually, I'm salivating because the smell is so good. Gordon Bennett. So there you go. So salsa verde, hot gravy, come on. If you want to just sort of get the colour vibes going, you could put a couple bits of mint over. It's always nice. There you go. Can it canapé? Yes, it can. Right, let's take one of our little cigars. Let's have a little dip up in the gravy. Oh, look at that. We've got the gravy. Let's hit this up with some salsa verde. Look at the colour. Oh my goodness. Mmm, it's so good. Mate, if you get some friends round. Oh my God, it's so good. Delicious. Get yourself some filo pastry, make a salsa verde, and celebrate your leftover roast dinners. Enjoy.